Alright, now let's go back to Mudbox. I'm going to show you how to preview all these. You could actually go into Mudbox and just do one of these numbers. And I'm going to show you why you shouldn't do this. So if I could send this to Maya as a new scene. If you're going for game, it's going to give you all these maps. And they're going to be in some really harsh nodes. Okay, nodes that are too complex for game engines to understand. So you're not going to get a real kind of feel for the maps at all. It's going to look fantastic, but that doesn't mean it's going to look fantastic in game. And with all these great programs that are automatically doing this stuff for you, it's a skill that students are slowly losing because we have these buttons that are just like going back and forth to Mudbox and Maya. They're losing this skill of being able to make texture nodes, material nodes with just manually, and that's kind of scaring me just a little bit. Okay, don't save. So it's going to bring it in. I can hit 6 on the keyboard, and there it is. And if I went into high quality rendering, there it is. That's pretty cool. It's got the specularity, it's got everything. Okay, now let's look at the mapping or the nodes on Hypershade. Okay, so this is my default shader here. I'm going to map that out, and here it is. Bam, 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 bam. Now I got a reflection map that's not in game. I got this. This is my specularity, but it's actually tied to the wrong channel, I think. And here's my diffuse and my normal map. So what I want to do is streamline this just a little bit, show you how to do this manually, because I think it's important. And you'll notice if I go to, let's say, flat shading, I think. There really is no detail here. So I'm going to leave this one open, and then I'm going to do it my way. And that starts here. The first thing I need to do is export my OBJ. So I'm going to go back to Sculpt, go to Object List, go down here, and I'll need to export this. So I'll select it, export it, and I'll export it to Skull, Production, and this is my skull. Okay, in Maya, the new one here, I'll import that in. Again, Maya is one of those programs that you need to page out to your Dropbox. Okay, 6 on the keyboard will give you this. The first thing I need to do is soften the normals up. So I'll go into polygons and normals, soften edge. Okay, that'll give me this. And then window, rendering editors, Hypershade. And I'll drop in the textures into this tab. Here's my targas, TGAs. And I need real-time previews, so I'll just click, double-click, click, double-click, click, double-click. Now I need a new material. This one doesn't support specularity. I need a blend. And I'll middle mouse button click and drag this blend out, and you can see it's specular now. I'll switch over to Viewport 2.0 because really that's kind of mimicking the UDK as it is. So this is more game related, and this one doesn't give you the best readings I found out. Viewport 2.0 is amazing, by the way. Just utterly amazing. And it's also got the ability to see, if you go into the options, a thing called screen space ambient occlusion. So it mimics what the UDK can kind of do as far as ambient occlusion. I'm going to leave that off right now because actually I burned in the ambient occlusion. So here, middle mouse button click and drag this one over to default or color. I'm going to go to default. I got my color. Automatically looks pretty amazing. Middle mouse button click and drag this one over to bump map. And then on the bump map there's this checkerboard one, and the checkerboard one needs to be turned to tangent space normals. Okay, so that's starting to look a lot better. Now what about the specularity? How to control that? So middle mouse button click and drag this over to specular color, and there we go. So 3 little nodes. Let's look at it, how clean it is. So much better. I mean, I am missing the reflective map. That's okay. See it's shiny in that areas. So the normal map right in there, in that area right there, so it has a little bit of problem. Let's look at that area real close now that we have it in Maya. And see where it's coming from as far as how far is it burned down. And it almost looks like it's in the color map, and we can also look at it in the normal map. So the normal map isn't showing it. This one is showing it pretty bad. The specularity is giving it off, so we'd have to repair that one. And then we can also see if it's just in the color map. So it's in the color map in the specularity channel. And that's the advantage of having all these maps available, because really we can go in and tweak and repair as needed. Things like this. So that's what I want to show here. Is this is kind of the post-processing phase still. This is just general cleanup and checking your maps. So I'm just going to get rid of all those and then go ahead and save that back. This is my spec. Here's my normal map. I'm just checking to make sure that that looks good. Good. And here's my color map. And I'll go in and I'm using that clone stamp tool and just like that. And save as color map. Alright, let's go back to Maya and I'll show you how to update that. So I'm zoomed in that area. I'll go to object mode and click off something so you can see it up close. And I'll just right click on these and say reload image files. Since they're in a production folder, you're going to find that you can just see it right off the bat. And something's not carrying through with it. So again, check your maps. Okay. Color map's good. That one's good. This one's good. The rest is now UVs. So as long as your maps are reading okay, it's your UVs that are probably having a problem. So I'll go in here, and first I'll make sure the normal's okay. So I'll soften those normals. Grab the UVs in this area and kind of move them around a little bit. W on the keyboard to move those around. So I'm seeing that there might be some UVs that need to be stitched in this area. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to stitch these. Move and sew selected edges. Bam. So hopefully that shows. I'm glad that happened, because really I get to show the whole process of how to kind of debug things like that. But yeah, there we go. All repaired. But make sure you go through that process. I mean, you could have got lucky and sewn the edges together, but that wouldn't have corrected your maps. Alright, so that's the complete phase all the way through. That was for a single object. I might have to show you another video where we would do multiple objects like the other studies. But for right now, I hope this helps. Enjoy.